It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
What is that right there?
This is part 2 to that Ferrari video.
It's for the Malibu?
It's for the Malibu.
Oh, heck
Hey
yeah.
there, my name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Welcome to a dealer auction. Today I'm going to give you inside access to a dealer auction and continue my $400 flip into a Ferrari. If you've been watching along, a month ago, I bought a $400 car that I'm slowly going to buy and sell and reinvest the money into another vehicle until I can afford to purchase a Ferrari with just using that original $400 investment. The example is to show you how I grew my business, not to buy a Ferrari, but how with just a little bit of money, I rolled it into the next vehicle, and kept making more money, enough to establish myself into owning my own business. So about a month ago, I bought a $400 car. All right, here we go. 03 Chevy Malibu, 111,000 miles. Number 2, 02 Acura TL, 158,000 miles.
Minutes later.
Uh-oh, we already had our first problem. Forgot why I don't buy cheap cars. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, yikes. Car. And look how good this thing looks. I think we've turned this into, I don't know, maybe a $1,700 car so far. Just recently this week I sold it for $1,200. So today I'm at the auction. I have $1,200 to spend on a vehicle, and there's a lot of cars here, but $1,200 is a very difficult price range. I absolutely despise selling cheap cars, but that's how I got into this business, selling cheap cars, because when I was young I didn't have a lot of money. So I took what I had, bought a cheap car, sold it, made some money, rolled it into the next car, and into the next car, and into the next car, and so on. The point of this video is to use my original $400 investment, roll it into a Ferrari while only spending that original $400. I bought a Chevy Malibu for $400. I cleaned it, I fixed it, I sold it for $1,200. I'm gonna take that $1,200, I'm gonna buy a $1,200 car today. Now that's still a price range that's really, really difficult to find something good in, so it's still a gamble. I could buy a great car or I could buy a total lemon that's an absolute bust. So today, we're gonna find out what I end up with. 2012 Dodge Avenger with 125,000 miles. Even though it's in rough condition, it's still gonna be over that, far over that $1,200 price range I'm looking in. Now this right here might work. This is a 16 Altima with 119,000 miles. It's probably still way too new, even though it's smashed up, to be $1,200. And I really don't want to invest the time into repair work like this, even if it was $1,200. Now here's something that might work. This is an 02 Camry with 186,000 miles. Now there's really no such thing as a cheap Toyota, because if it runs well, it's still going to be over $1,200, and this is fairly clean for an 02 with 186,000 miles. But if I get this for $1,200, clean it, fix it, I might be able to get $2,000 out of it. Now a 97 Ranger would be a huge asset to have. I'd love to have this because they sell incredibly fast, even with rust. Now how about a Tesla? Maybe somewhere along the way in this experiment, how do I open these doors? I don't even know. Maybe somewhere along the way in this experiment, I'll end up with a Tesla before the Ferrari, but not yet. And like I said, there's really no such thing as a cheap Toyota. Even this 99 Tacoma two-wheel drive that's strangely colored, strangely painted, is probably gonna be more than $1,200. And look at the original color. So it was originally like a burgundy. Now it's green and white. Now this is the stuff I'd prefer to buy. This is the reason I'm in this business. 04 S4, 133,000 miles. Is it a 6-speed? And it's even a 6-speed. Look at this interior. This right here is the reason I got into this business. This is a beautiful car. This will put a smile on my face. It'll be fun to sell, and the next owner will love it as well. And it's probably one of the cleanest S4s I've seen in a long time. Any check engine lights? There's always a check engine light on. Nope. No check engine lights. This is the reason I'm in this business. And hopefully, look at this interior. Hopefully I leave with this thing. 09 Rogue with 187,000 miles. If you saw my video with my brother when I tried to buy him and his girlfriend a Rogue, that was a complete flop. I'm not doing that again. Maybe a Brodozer with some stacks will do it. Look at these things. You can cut a hole in the silly. Wow, that's a big boy. That right there might work for a $1,200 car. Here's a 99 Ford Contour with 39,000 miles. Now this, I don't know, could be a winner. It should be in that price range, but even still, it's pretty filthy and it's really dated. So who's gonna want an old Contour, even if it does have low miles? It's still really rusty. So I'll stay away from that one. I should have used last week's camper as my $1,200 flip, because that sold in a week and I made a ton of money on it. I made 100% of my money back on that car. Check this out. So you can see what it looks like there. And this is after just a wash. That's how nice it looks after just a wash. This thing is going to be an absolute score. I paid $1,000. Paid $1,000 for it. Now I'm at the auction searching around for $1,200 cars that I hate doing. I just can't wait till I'm out of this price range, because this is not fun. It's a hunt, and they're just basically searching through the auction to find the junk that isn't junk in this price range. So this is tough. I can't wait till I'm in the normal car price range and I can start to have fun with this experiment. This right here was the car to have when I was in high school. Came in the 6-speed 2.8 Quattro. I used to work for a ski shop, and this would be the car we'd take to the ski mountains during a storm, because it would just plow through anything in any conditions comfortably and fast, and it was fun. And even though it's old and ripped, I still kind of want it just for nostalgia purposes. You know the game. Will it start? It runs, that's positive. And I can't imagine anyone else bidding on this car because it's so old. It's 22 years old and the mileage isn't showing, so we really don't know how many miles are on this thing. So it shows up as TMU, meaning true mileage unknown, but when I scan it on my phone and I get the auto check, it shows it had 225,000 miles on November of 2019. So a year ago, it had 225,000 miles. We'll do it right here. This might be the one. This is a 2000 Civic with 70,000 miles. I'm sure it's going to be more than $1,200, but this might work. This is what my wife had in high school. Doesn't get any more reliable than a 2000 Honda Civic. This was a great, great car. I could hear these things start from a mile away and knew it was a Civic. Ready? Listen to this. Tell me if anybody else knows. No other car sounds like that when it starts. All right, let's go into the auction and see what we can come up with. I got my car, 06 Mercury Milan, 140,000 miles, automatic. There it goes right there. 86 Honda Accord. So here's one of my purchases for the day, a 96 Accord with 122,000 miles. Okay tires, just passed inspection in New Hampshire. That's huge for me because in September, right now it's November, 2 months ago, this passed New Hampshire state inspection, which is really, really strict. Does have faded paint, and like I said, there's really no such thing as a cheap Honda, but obviously I found one. So let's start it up, and it starts. So far a score. Now the reason I'm doing this video is to show you that you don't have to have money to start a business. If you've seen the girl that started with a paperclip and is trading it up to purchase a house, anything is possible. With a small investment, you can start your own business. I started it with almost no money, and I ended up getting my dealer's license. And now I have a fairly decent sized car dealership, and I started my dealership 14 years ago, and in New Hampshire, I started it 10 years ago. I own 2 locations, multiple cars, and all of our inventory. So I don't care if you're buying broken phones, fixing them, and then selling them, or sneakers, or cars, or whatever. The business model is the same. I can buy and sell anything the same way I buy and sell vehicles, and run my business the same way I do as I do now. So this $600 car is going to double my money for me, turn $600 into $1,200, and then I can just keep rolling it into more cars. Now you can see I started with $400 and I bought the Malibu. Then I sold that for $1,200. I came here expecting to spend $1,200 on one car. I ended up with 2 cars for $600. So now I started with 1 car for $400. I have 2 cars. And if you remember what I had said in the first video, 1 car turns into 2 cars, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, and so on. It snowballs, it keeps rolling. So I came here with the intention of just rolling the money into a second car, and I ended up with 2 vehicles, and now you can see my inventory has grown. Now, obviously, I don't want to be selling 1996 Honda Accords, and that's not typically what we sell at my car dealership. But this is a perfect example of how I started my business when I first started, with little money. 1 car turned into 2 cars in my driveway. and I started rolling more money into more cars, and my inventory grew. I'm the high bidder on that 73 Mustang convertible on an if meaning I'm the high bidder, but it didn't meet the seller's reserve price, so they have to think about it. They have 2 hours to think about it and get back to me. Wouldn't mind leaving with that today though. I do a ton of Chevy trucks. So here is a 14 Silverado that I bought, one owner, 158,000 miles. So this is something I picked up today too that should be a winner. Let's see if it starts. I basically know how my experience is going to go based on if it starts right away or not. It started. Well, I ended up buying two $600 cars instead of one $1,200 car. Not intentionally, that wasn't my intention when I came here. I really don't want two $600 headaches, but the opportunity came up. It was in my mind. I'm thinking cheap cars. They came across the auction block. I ended up buying them both for $600 each. So I'm $1,200 into two cars, which now means two headaches, which now means two cars I have to sell, twice as many customers I have to deal with. I really don't want to, and I shouldn't have, but I did. So here's my second one. It is an 06 Mercury Milan V6, 145,000 miles. It's really not in terrible shape, and that's why I bought it. To me, it's probably worth $1,200, so this would have been my $1,200 car anyway, and I only paid $6. Now I'm thinking I should be able to get $2,000 for it. Clean, fixed, I should be able to get around $2,000. So I paid $6. That's what, $1,400. Gotta chill because it's so cold. I paid $6, $1,400 profit on this one, and then the Accord, $600 on that. That should be a $1,500 car too. So no matter what, I'm making 100% plus on my money 2 times. So I'm actually expediting, I'm rapidizing, that's not a word. I'm speeding up the process now because I have 2 cars that I'm gonna make money on off my original $400 investment. Now you guys all know the game. Will it start? It started. Does the radio work? Radio doesn't work. Oh man. Oh, radio works. 145,000 miles. No check engine light? I'm pretty sure I scored on this thing. We got a little bit of a brake squeal. No, not anymore. I thought I had a little bit of a brake squeal up at first, but now's the true test. Will it shift? 1, 2, 3, all 3 gears at least. At least the first 3 gears work. That shifted smoothly. I have heat. I have front windows. I have back windows. This was a score. This one was my $1,200 car. All right, we're all loaded up. I got my tow rig here. I have my $600 car here on my tow dolly. Now I have a car trailer and I have a tow dolly. The tow dolly is cheap, 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 short money. If you ever want to tow some vehicles, you can only tow front wheel drive cars. It won't tow full wheel down, and it won't tow full wheel drive. It won't tow all wheel drive. But this thing has paid for itself 100 times over. All right, let's go back to the shop. Another thing I found out about this Fusion has a remote starter. Does it work though? I don't even know how to use it. And for the people that don't believe me, 06 Mercury Milan, $600. So here's how we travel to pick up our cars. What did you call this, a carpool? So we carpool, all of us, each with a dealer plate and one with a trailer, and we're each gonna drive a car home. All right, my friend, you can pick any car down this line. Which do you guess would be ours?
We didn't get this, man.
That's it right there. 73 Mustang convertible, automatic. It's either a 351 or a 302, I'm not really sure. 2 owners. The previous owner, the guy I bought it from, bought it in 1980 and just keeps it in his garage. Original books, original keys, everything. Only thing it's missing is like some Mustang emblems. So like if you look in the back, there's some holes where the Mustang emblem should go. Otherwise, the car is awesome. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I did. I bought a Rogue, a 2015 Rogue. I don't learn from my own mistakes. So the weird thing about that Mustang It came with remotes
Oh, wow.
for a 73 Mustang, so they must have wired a remote starter to it. Let's go check it out. Is that? Those heads look big. I don't know what size engine that is. I'm gonna have to read the block. 3 pumps and a crank. Wow. Unlock this for me. Whoa. Oh, this is nice. And it even has the tonneau cover for the top. Does the top work? So here's my score for the day. We have a 2014 Silverado, a 73 Mustang V8 convertible. We have a 2015 Rogue, and then here's my other $600 car, is a 96 Honda Accord with 122,000 miles. This is our other $400 into a Ferrari flip German, and I think it should move pretty quickly. Cart inspection sticker, 122,000 miles, good tires, bad clear coat. That should go though.
And away they go.
So that is part 2 of my flipping $400 into a Ferrari video. I'm just over a month in. It was hard to focus on the $400 Malibu because I absolutely hated that car just as much as I hate selling cheap cars in general. I just had other things to focus on, like my Jeep flips, like my camper flips. There's a lot of other things that are making me more money than a $400 Chevy Malibu. You can see how $400 rolls and rolls and rolls from there, and that's how you can start your business. And like I said, it doesn't have to be with cars. You can use this business model on anything. It's the same thing I do every time I start a business. And as long as I can focus and as long as I can put my mind to these 2 vehicles, I should double my money again on each car, and everything's gonna snowball. And within 12 months, I should have my Ferrari. Now, I think I've tied up your time enough for now. Stay tuned for the next video when we find out what these 2 $600 cars need and how much money we get for each of them, as well as how long it takes to sell them. I hope these videos are informative, helpful, educational, and entertaining. If they are, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. You can share it, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Make sure to subscribe here or something. Otherwise, I'll see you all later. Thanks for watching, everybody. Adios.